Operation Cupid continuing the top side of our day, going with groups A and B, and it is Group A that we will stick with as we jump deeper into this one. We are playing for a playoff spot with Anarchy's accounting firm up against a Weaponized Incompetence team that was able to right the ship initially. A little bit of a loss there to Snafafu's tuition farm, as expected, you might say. And now, the chance for a playoff.
I think it's funny that there are a lot of teams here, like a lot of teams that you could just really get a lot from their names and their names alone. Funny little things, you know, Snafafu's tuition farm, he's farming up some money for college, he's got his team with him, you know, just trying to make some money. Anarchy's accounting firm, counting the pennies. Weaponized Incompetence. Well, let's see if they can weaponize said incompetence or if it's just going to be a primarily latter stage of that title. And then the last team in this same group, even if we're just going to go down the list, was just Thinkers Academy team, right? And we were already making jokes about that. But right now we've got Weaponized Incompetence, who I think definitely do have a whole lot of firepower on the inside looking out, but we don't know what they're going to look like as far as the tactics are going to be concerned.
Yeah, when I think of Weaponized Incompetence, I think of like the concept of like, they're doing things that are so dumb that I can't anticipate.
That's a term. You know, have you ever heard that term, weaponized incompetence?
No, yeah, no, I understand. But that's like, you know.
It's like, I can't
It's like a very serious term, I feel like.
No, weaponized incompetence?
Yeah.
It's when I, for example, lie about being like unable to do a thing, so then I have somebody else do it for me.
Oh, you're just lying.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's just like, oh, man, you make the best burgers. Like, I make the bad burgers. Like, you should make burgers tonight. Like, that's weaponized incompetence.
I should use that. Wait, that's a good idea.
It's a psychological thing, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to use that on you tonight. Don't remember this conversation.
Probably.
Yeah, we just got done watching Anarchy's accounting firm. I don't feel like we really got to see them tested, but certainly looked as good as you could ever hope against a team that they're expected to beat, right?
In an opener.
Yeah, and that's no surprise. We are going to see yet another different map. I'm honestly like impressed that we've been able to get some variety here. Big fan of it. Nuke is indeed the map that we'll be playing on. And this kind of goes to what you were talking about a second ago with regard to getting a chance to see maybe a little bit more depth from these individual teams.
Yeah, like tactically?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nuke is a push and pull map. It's a map that is heavily based in rotations as well as what you're able to dictate in that of your opponent and read at the same time. So, well, given the fact that it will have a knife round to witness, I think that'll be pretty cool to really spot out where they think that they'll be playing out better for one, obviously always going to be that CT side. But if we see them have holes poked at them so soon as the gun rounds are to come through, I think we'll have a pretty good determinant as to who this game will go to in that first half, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be pretty cool to also get to finalize the conversation that we were just having with Sasha with regard to the fact that, you know, first LAN goal team-wise is, hey, let's make it into these playoffs. This is the game for playoffs. This is what we're playing for. As the knife round underway.
Weird spread right now from Weaponized Incompetence as they just sneak freak out from Mini at that last second. Thought that he might have been able to caught somebody with their attention taken aback, but not the case. Looks as if it will, however, even still go to the way of Weaponized Incompetence, despite Freaky not being in the forefront of the action. By the ends, he'll get there.
So with that, certainty to start on the CET side. Huge asset, no doubt, and that is the scary part. Why each of your best of ones in a round robin is important, because you're on to Nuke, and so now not just the pistol rounds but the knife round means a lot. So starting on the T side can obviously be a significant detriment if you don't get into business quickly.
I mean, we have the fortune of knowing everything as far as nades and stuff are concerned. This is an A-pop. That's all it's going to be. I mean, maybe they'll late go towards ramp, depending, but the utility that they have and the positions that they hold, it's just going to be slotted for that to be the case, and I think they may have just had their plans a little bit throttled because of those smokes that have been dropped in the same spot. It's going to flush them in through one or the other of Hut, or Squeaky. The Molotov stunts the ability to get out through Hut instantly, and in that, they funnel right into the site as where they seem to be ready. Weaponized Incompetence with every kill between the dynamic duo that I was describing just a little bit there, and Freaky and Icarus played together previously at a higher level than many. And take themselves now timed out.
Yeah, that's just a nice setup, too, for Weaponized Incompetence over on the A-bomb site. You've got Freaky up in Rafters. Initially, Icarus is on hut, but when the molly comes down, he's got to drop. He drops into a good position where he can then support his teammate who's on floor. Just a really nice three-man setup for the A-bomb site. And because Anarchy didn't take any time to, like, try and fake towards yard or do anything else, just played a quiet game, Weaponized Incompetence don't adjust their hold in any way at all. But yeah, a swift pause. We're back into the action here as well as quickly. Looks to me that they're going to just be saving on that one.
Remember that team?
I do remember that After Hours team.
Yeah, that was at Fragadelphia. They
Justin
played at a couple
Frizzy.
of them for, yeah. Justin Frizzy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, like, what team, what roster?
Couple of those different teams that they played for, orged up, I think, even at a point or two. Maybe the one at Goons.
Yeah, I mean, After Hours
there.
is an org as well, but...
Oh, they didn't have a logo. That's weird.
Yeah, I think...
Some org.
I'm going to be honest, I think probably because it's AI generated and HLTV has, like...
Oh, really?
Some rules.
That's cool. That's kind of cool. I like that, actually.
Yeah.
WHLTV.
Yeah, also not that many events, so, you know, maybe they just...
Clearly, yeah.
Or they didn't have the right dimensions. That's also, like, a possibility. Down the vent here.
Little plantaroo.
Yeah, this is plan going exactly as intended. Not meant to get more than this bomb plant. Any extra kills would be cool, but not expected.
I think they will get a 1. Got a pretty good feeling about these little wacky positions that they're going to need to clear every single one of them from, and if they keep the pace up that they do have right now, they might get a little bit blasted, and there goes the first of them. Decent clock shot, one still to the window, not yet fully cleared, the glass not even broken, but as Sasha goes forward, they have Jax just down low enough to where one more bullet well placed might be it, but a USP from Freaky even. That's all that they'll need. 1 kill, plant. Everything now in their hands as far as this third round is concerned. AAF, this would be the start. And if happening so soon would be huge too, because they can honestly afford the CTs of Nuke to get a little bit far ahead if they would really like. Is that a Bud Light? Is he drinking a Bud Light?
Could be.
What is he? Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
My man, dude. I told you we went out drinking at that last frag that I saw him at.
Oh, that was Icarus?
Yeah, Gabe.
Nice.
We were cool like that. I'm gonna message him afterwards and say something about getting a little bit loose with the juice, but right now on yard, Jax is in a bit of trouble. I don't think there's gonna be a very easy bailout, and there will be none whatsoever, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, a lot of presence for Anarchy out in this area, and unfortunately not going to be able to get too far away from it. Freaky still trying to maintain any semblance of garage control, but down secret go AAF. Reaction for ASAP. And it might just be that. Anarchy, they probably not going to waste too much time in this, and they won't. ASAP. First shot is his. The adjustment, just a little bit too much to ask between Canadian trading. And AAF have themselves a man advantage.
A banger nade right now, if thrown onto Twinkinator, would be a kill, but it would need to be a literal banger. It would need to be the perfect nade. That bounce actually hurting more than it helps. Doesn't blow up in the middle of the air anymore, so it's change in motion. Will land just behind the right side. And they're going in. They're going in before anybody can really get sight lines onto them, let alone the flank, as it'll only just start to make its arrival. AGN was low. A smoke? Don't believe there is one. No, there was from Top Shadow, but he's dead, and Icarus can't get a top of it in time. AGN will win it with a gunfight above all.
And a big round for AAF. I think just getting their initial game plan settled. Get some yard smokes, trying to find a fight. Jax gets caught out, and they just zoom on down to B.
It's Jester.
Oh, it is Jester.
Yeah.
I mean, he is at the event. Not all that surprising.
Oh, clearly.
He is playing in the event. Thanks, dude.
Well, he is at the event.
And once again, my co-caster is being mean to me. For fun.
It's easy, though.
And that's why it's important to be nice, because that's the hard thing.
No.
Well, AAF having a good time. Hopefully as good as we're having. A little bit lacking in the utility department this round just because of how many bodies go down. Hoping to receive any sort of aggression, but none forthcoming. Free heat. First up, just going to drop the smoke. They're going to disrespect it straight through into Freaky's crosshair, but on the move is too much. And Twinkinator low, but not dead. Finally going to be taken out. Icarus onto Anarchy, and that was back up in yard, if I'm not mistaken. Pies in a great position that's going to punish ASAP. Icarus now finally goes down. AGN, who was watching on the top of T roof for that whole round, any sort of lobby aggression he was meant to receive, flanks the flanker while flanking. And AAF will be locking this round down. Did I break your brain with that one?
Maybe. Anarchy and Co have a lot of patience right now that's panning out. It's like it's really smooth from them to be able to just await the arrival of someone from the CTs, especially in moments of man down, where they get everything that they would have wanted. Hey, there's Alpha.
Yeah.
Hey, there's...
Friend of the show?
No, but a lot of cameos in the background. But yeah, even still, it's maybe a little bit overzealous, perhaps, from Weaponized Incompetence. The Weaponized part is starting to show through. Can't give the fights over to your opponents as if you were the tease right now in this moment in time, I don't feel. Because if you do find that your mechanics are better than that, the players that you play, you need to let them be invited into your home. Stand your ground rights, or whatever.
Or something. That's a big catch. Yeah, AAF right now just handling their yard take with the vast majority of the resources, and then AGN is tasked with receiving any further moves into lobby. Not at all worried about Weaponized Incompetence being able to take that area of the map because, well, AAF are happy to let them have it if they want to. Obviously, this one just an eco round, but this is powerful conditioning already being set up with regard to how many resources are being put out in yard.
This will be a quick kill. One bullet is all that it will take. Just got to kind of figure out how he's moving around this blue bin. What is going on? Freaky has lost radar, and AGN has also moved away fully. Oh my lord. Please tell me he doesn't just tuck on the right side as soon as he sees him. Okay. I was going to say, what an annoying moment that will be Freaky. Gets a fully automatic rifle that he might be able to hold on to into the next round, but it looks like they are on somewhat of a hunt and a prowl. Distance created between Icarus and those just behind him will make it so they don't hear footsteps. As the bomb does blow, they know where the last of them was, but they're not going to go trouncing in old grounds. It's the investment now with a really solid amount of money they don't need to throw at Jax because of that gun that they grabbed.
Yeah, I got to weigh the pros and cons of that, too, for AAF. Worthwhile to sure take the gun out of the hands of Freaky, but so true to also build up their own economy. Keep themselves in a pretty nice spot, especially when you have a good start on the T side, or at least able to immediately break through. Want to have maximum opportunities on the weapons. Speaking of, plenty of those here for Weaponized Incompetence, and okay, it's Icarus. Just a raw fight for Lord of Pies in Squeaky.
Seems like they have an inkling that there's something just above them on yard. If they didn't know before, they sure as hell will now. Jax will have been given comms that somebody's dropped off, that somebody has gone to the low ground from once where they were up high. Jax will die, and oh my lord, Twinkinator just able to turn crosshair to head on anybody on this position. And although they're still losing numbers elsewhere, at the very least they can ensure that they won't be hit from the back.
Weaponized Incompetence getting an inclination from the very beginning that this round is significantly different from a setup perspective than the previous ones were, with the fact that Lord of Pies was forcing a fight in Squeaky. Now ramp is their main goal, their main approach, and it's Anarchy. The step forward, smoke for J-Hall. Freaky hoping to disrespect that entirely as the rest of Anarchy just pushed down onto B. Tom Shadow down the vent for a 2-on-3. Though unfortunately it's not going to stand in that stance very much longer. Sasha removes him, and Freaky no longer a very winnable round, so he'll back away.
Definitely thought it would be a little bit more competitive than it is right now in the way of weaponizing competences. Clearly, I think those 2 rounds are indicators that things were going super smooth. The third, that's where things were tight, but still only the first round that AAF were able to pull over, and then from then on, it looks like they've just started to actually level up their game time and time. It hasn't slowed. It seems like they've gone to 100%. They've shifted into high gear. And I don't foresee that stopping anytime soon, so it's Weaponized Incompetence who are going to need to hit the level up in their own regard. More Bud Light required.
Buds with the buds. Weaponized Incompetence. Not in a position right now where things have gotten out of hand. I will give that credit. They are going to be buying around the one saved rifle. This one's not ideal. MP7, MP9. At least Freaky does have an AWP. I like this. They're just going to get him inserted over into ramp. ASAP close by. And they're going to keep on pressuring this. Back to the usual for AAF as they do their yard take with maximum resources in that area.
Nate is late. They've already crossed, and there was just such a great number of smokes that they couldn't really have even seen, even if they were to throw it right in the middle of the 3 of them. And down they'll go into Freaky's line, into the lane that he singularly zones, and everyone else for the CT side feels more comfortable going on the roundabout. Ooh, I don't feel comfortable for much longer.
It's really unfortunate to be handing that over, especially when you just got the advantage for Freaky's op. I was just about to praise Weaponized Incompetence for their reaction, the adjustment more accurately when AAF were taking yards so much. Just put somebody down on the B site early. Get into secret, but Weaponized Incompetence not happy with just their one man up. They take lobby, and AGN responsible for that. He might have more to shoot at. He does. Nice shot to the head. Jax with a trade. This is still going to be difficult. Oh, AWP just gets a spot at that one. Rotation for Freaky is coming too little too late. I mean, breaking back this through is just going to have to be some sort of mind-blowing no-scope. It's not that. It's not anywhere close. And it's round over. Let's get AAF on to 5.
A little bit of a stern look across the faces of Weaponized Incompetence as they now become stone cold and trying to figure out a new way of approaching this. As yet anything that they've got has happened to work. Double clearing lobby after getting a kill lower with the op to me feels like it's just a step too far when you've already got a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I think that their adjustment, the thing that worked was, get the op started on B. And then they wanted more.
A little bit of a assumption from them that yard would be where the primary hit was from, as opposed to inner.
Well, and that kind of comes
correct.
Yeah, that comes back to what we've been talking about with the conditioning. The fact that AAF have constantly been 4 yard. In previous rounds, AGN has been top of T roof as opposed to in the back of Squeaky. ESAP going to go down in just that fashion. And it's another victory. This T side is rocking, man. It really is impressing.
I'm impressed with how often AGN can just be left alone and get a kill, if not 2.
Yeah, lots of responsibility on his part there, and seems to be flourishing in it, truly.
AGN, no gun, okay. There it is.
Found it.
Thank you. Thank you for the drop. Appreciate it. Sniper the ASAP maybe in moments, but Freaky's on the other end. Blow to the smoke again, a little shallow, and they're going to be able to get across. It's only Twinkinator. We've also seen them with a little bit of solo success on their position. And the first time in a long time, we've spoken about Sasha on a sniper rifle because the impact wasn't required on that first map. But here, there's a little bit more room to get more active. And this is just one of them as Twinkinator takes down the timing to the secret steps. Backs are turned, round already effectively over. No money for them to go jumping down in a 3 versus 5 to hope to get a pick back and in, especially considering that they don't even have so much as a kit. Oh, there is one actually. It was blocked by my water cup.
It feels like a T-side masterclass right this second, though. Like, it's nothing groundbreaking, but everything going correctly. Even in this round, you had the fact that Twinkinator able to get down secret entirely unknown by the look of things to the CTs.
They seem to know just how much room is being given to them each round, and they just take it.
Yeah.
They know exactly how much room and where. Nade, flash, nade, off close. Not going to peek out just yet, relying on his rifler who will die, but the higher priority gun, at the very least, is carried into the next round.
So much money, though, that Anarchy started this round at $16,000. So any amount of guns that they were able to claim, worth it on the AAF squad.
Could have thrown everybody with knives out and still been fine.
Knives Out, the hit movie series.
Second one isn't very good.
Netflix. Second one was good.
I didn't think so.
How about the third one?
Haven't seen it.
What?
Just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe months ago that you were going to watch it.
Didn't it come out 2 months ago?
Probably.
It looked like Jax on yard being hit with a couple bodies, even one through the smoke, the next of which he does actually see a lot easier of a target, but in picking up the op, that leaves tunnel vision, that leaves Twinkinator, the chance to round about. And they're not prepped for that 3v3, and there is just so much as far as not only map control, but time and mind space for the offense to still work with.
Yeah. We haven't been in a lot of these situations, though, for AAF. A lot of times, their vision of the round has come together in the first attempt. So now they've got to sort out how this has gone. ASAP not seeing anything. Anarchy up into heaven. Trying to get back with the rest of the squad, going to be a little bit tough. The coverage is great. Chris just spotting out. Important not to take this fight if you're up in heaven. But that is a massive one. Sasha, does he know that he's getting flanked? Now Top Shadow, loud about that, too loud, too much, overstepping and stomping, and it is his demise alongside the rest of Weaponized Incompetence. Anarchy accounting firm right back to business. That was a big test in that 3-on-3, I feel, and they passed with flying colors.
Thought that Icarus had the timing. I mean, he killed... AGM was dead, so lobby's clear. Like, that's guaranteed. Nobody's going to be sitting in lobby if it isn't AGN. So Icarus gets in there, and I thought he would have done a little bit more as far as trying to take a moment to catch them with their pants down, being able to swing on even before his teammates had reintegrated themselves. But that will never come. Icarus will go on to yard with a FAMAS, bursts out with a thin sliver for the T to swing, but even then Twinkinator, who has been widely successful in that area, this time falters. I believe that they've just made a connection with the idea that the Opper is still yet to be seen, if there is one at all, but ASAP, it's not him.
Okay, I tell a lie. They were prepping a flash. Oh, there it is. ASAP just going to get caught by it. Loudly stomps back down. Loving ramp control. But ASAP comes back, locks down Lord of Pies. Really smartly handled from ASAP again, just being enough of a threat, but getting out. Now chased to the ends of the earth. Down and gone. But still an uncomfortable position here for AAF. Needed to win that fight for Anarchy. It goes wrong. With Jax's victory, B site now re-cleared by Icarus. This is looking likely to be the end of day.
Tough miss there. Looks like they blended in for a quick second, and then once they had realized that there was somebody ahead of them, panic settled in, and the flick was a miss.
Finally, a little bit of smiles on the face there by Weaponized Incompetence, but you know, the reality is that AAF already know they've done a great job, and They've got at least one more opportunity to tack on another T round.
Phenomenal work indeed. Shadow using the AUG. Knowing something we don't, perhaps. Once upon a time, maybe. We've seen them using, actually, this weapon in this same position a couple of times now. Maybe just to get the reaction a little bit swifter than that of a rifle at a distance. The scope would help. Icarus tagged down. Outside control. Questionable time frame, as again they've thrown 3 smokes, and again that HE won't matter because even if it were to blow up a 1, it needs to blow up 3, and it ain't happening. It ain't getting that close.
Yeah,
I love that actually. It's very interesting, but it dedicates a lot.
A ton of teams are doing that, I've noticed. Is that the trio of smokes that kind of do the same idea. Big opener for Anarchy. That's Icarus, who had responded. ASAP the next to answer the call ahead of the molly. Almost able to lock that down, but then a 3-man triple swing comes back through. Weaponized Incompetence going to be in trouble trying to finally clear AGN, but he has, as you've highlighted, been an untouchable force there in lobby. Bomb planted, and a 1v5 for free.
Yeah, it's getting a little crazy. Thought it was a knife for a second, but the tech, the better choice. Just close it as it were. Get this game under wraps. That's what they're saying right now, is they don't want to worry about nothing except playoffs from this point.
And that's looking good, looking very much like a reality for AAF. 9-3, and on the T half of Nuke. Not my expectation, but where we live currently, it's going to be pretty simple. Freaky just has smoke, molly. That's all that's going to be able to be posted here. Lord of Pies close with the dualies. Tonkinator, I think, got the other pair.
A little bit of an offset, but they're not going to be heading into it anytime soon. We're a little bit more attentive to the ramp as Freaky sits in inner. Plays his heart out. Try and catch anybody looking to flush out the lurk position. 1-for-1. Top Shadow on 1. Barely any health to play with, and there's still a player on Mustang. This one feels like it's a little bit a distant for the reality on a retake, so they might have to delay themselves victory for a little while longer.
AGN does have a kit at least.
Yeah. It's breaking apart these positions is the problem, though, and you can really only get one at a time, and the timer has already ticked to a certain extent where they would need to grab the kit off someone deceased, and we will get 4 WI. Not dead yet. We've seen... Oh! Hey, F you! With the finger to go along with it. That's that Bud Light talking.
Let them know. AAF, not the dream start. But it's actually 2 pistol round wins here for Weaponized Incompetence.
Can we fine him for being mean?
Nope. Not a chance. 2 pistol rounds, and the first one didn't mean all that much. He just got that round, the follow-up, and then 1 gun round over the course of the CT half. Not taking any chances with this one, though. There's 5 rifles. Not a single SMG. In case Anarchy were looking to go for a force buy. They have not, as you and I can both see. Down B. And it's going to be easy win from here. At least it should be.
Yeah, I mean, if it becomes a difficult win at this point where they're not even remotely able to get access into B, then I would be shocked. Looks like Freaky will continue, or rather, excuse me, Icarus will continue to poke around to see where these pistols do preside. Predominantly in A, playing a little bit more grouped even outside, trying to get an exit spot and space to play. Never really simple on Nuke, primarily because of the bomb radius, but secondarily because I think Weaponized Incompetence are okay just getting a little bit closer to you. A nade to kill the player at the top end of the vent? Was that 100-0? I can't exactly tell.
Oh my god.
Good swift refrag. Zeus is pretty solid. Nothing to write home about. And And there is 5 from Weaponized Incompetence, where, you know, they've gotten so much in the time frame this very short match has been played out from, where I can certainly foresee them winning out this round just based on the fact that AAF aren't exactly going to have everything just yet. I mean, the off was, I wouldn't say like a major question for the last map, but like Sasha just didn't really have to use it, so we don't know what level they're going to bring once Weaponized Incompetence have one of their own. If at all, maybe their nades are just a little bit better to work with him as well. I'm excited to see what Sasha does, what his moves are. And Nuke is a map of moves.
Yeah, all about moves, really.
It's like chess.
Those the not so complex sea smokes, just going to be 2 of them. An opener already, Top Shadow. Fortunately able to track down Sasha. I think Sasha was spamming that and just got returned on. ASAP through a smoke, swings in. Weaponized Incompetence. We have themselves a day of it. On this A bomb site, Twinkinator at least going to reclaim yard control, keep this an open avenue to get back in for a retake. Smoke for coverage is going to allow for his teammate to get up the vent. Anarchy making that move now, but a little bit too far forward with no support.
Now on the retreat, one still sits at red. EGN ever ratty, even on CT side. Really trying to outposition his adversaries, and it isn't going to get any easier if they don't really go into where he's playing from. I'm actually quite surprised.
ASAP will go down with the bomb on that, and Weaponized Incompetence making a move for this comeback, 3 in a row. And the gun round of big importance we just got to watch. Top Shadow, the early tool out in yard. Victory there. A-site take. Pretty well put together, at least together. Right, ASAP through the smoke, sure, but had good trade spacing, even though it wasn't necessary.
Oh, and the inner wrap and walk. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Icarus is blinded. Actually turning back for the door player of either of them? I'm shocked.
Shocked he gets away with a kill. More than anything. Right on target for that. AAF giving up their gambit. AGN not going to be seeing anyone because Weaponized Incompetence sprinting down B. Molly to cut off rotations for the time being as well, and I mean, this is not unwinnable by any means, but at least the longer that it takes for WI to get this bomb planted, the longer that AAF have.
Vents are kind of clear. It could have been tucked into the closer of those crannies, to which Anarchy goes beyond, if there even were one. I think as soon as they make a sound cue, it should be a slamming. Very loud and about now. Our Weaponized Incompetence is their offense looks to be as strong, if not stronger, maybe. Yet to see it tie the score up, but I think that we're already now having rapidly approached this 8th, entering the conversation to whereas where are AAF in the second half so far?
Yeah, I mean, they've had 2 gun rounds. Like just to do a little check-in, the first gun round I don't think was particularly crazy. A little spam win. Weaponized Incompetence in yard, and then simple 3-man approach into the A site. Easy win off the back of that. Follow that up with a big lobby fight that goes pretty well. They trade efficiently and then get down B. And point out anything in particular the AAF are wildly missing yet. Oh my gosh, hold on.
Looks like this is one of those rounds, Vincent. Looks like this is one of those rounds, Vincent. They waltz right into their worst nightmare, the 5-7s. Just spamming away even on the edges and amidst those smokes and dealing damage, if not outright killing them. $500 weapon.
You gotta find a way to just cancel that, though. When the smoke goes up, when there's an incendiary, there's more resources than you thought were there, and you lose the first guy, and the smoke goes up, you got to find a way to just walk away. I think that's something that's so hard to do for Weaponized Incompetence. In general, it's hard to do because, you know, usually that will include somebody maybe missing the memo, but just a little bit of a tragedy when you're talking about walking into not just like a stack or anything, but 5-7s and deagles. Those are going to eat you up if you're gray screened on the other side.
We roll back into the rounds. And WI have gotten their first strike at actually having more of an economy built than that of their enemies. Sasha Sniper playing against Weaponized Incompetence, who are relegated now to kind of the awkward buy, sell, loss, rise of 2 Galils.
Oh, man.
And it looks like the Galils will be the biggest asset to them now that as these players go down one after another, it's just going to be a matter of trades. You know, you lose one guy on Yard and Twinkinator, and you're just going to body up at that point if you are the T's. Should be the move.
First time we've really seen AGN making like an aggressive call where he's the one being active. Fortunately, Sasha only able to claim one, now out of the equation for the moment. Trying to rotate down to B. Weaponized Incompetence have themselves not just a one-man lead, but 2. There is a path, I guess, back into this, but with Sasha's HP, I don't think that AAF have any business being in this, and they won't even get away with everything. I think the thing that is a little puzzling for me for AAF at the start of this round is, you know, Twinkinator wants to force a fight in Yard, and I feel like they haven't actually done that very often, where they're intentionally taking a fight. It's been all spam battles. But then he's walking outside of the sea smoke with no flash, and so the guy on Marshmallow just has free reign.
Well, who out here is paying for rain? I thought that was inherently free.
It does come from the sky, I guess.
I don't pay for it.
I know some farmers that would pay for rain. If you're offering.
You know what? That's true. Maybe. I mean, who knows? I guess it depends on what their...
Also, there's deserts. Pretty sure they'd pay.
Some deserts have rain.
Yeah. But, you know, probably would pay for more.
Just take this desert and push it somewhere else.
Well, then they don't have rain.
That's true. Team Anarchy, it's timeout time. Waited for quite the considerable point. This game not even close to get lost, but round after round, Nuke can potentially become a snowball effect. With that courage building and stacking. Might get to be too tall, but it also potentially could be too tall and then fall. So you gotta hit the right sweet spot up there. It's almost like playing Jenga. Except each brick is a play you make in this game, and one could have the whole thing fall right on down. So they don't want to let this one go to waste, if you will.
It's tight balance. AAF currently trying to create Weaponized Incompetence, breaking back through after just one round loss in this half. The rebuy there. Hits for 3. Twinkinator not wanting to recreate his mistake from the last round. A lot more passive in mini. Weaponized Incompetence throwing their normal utility in Yard, but this is then set up for a little bit of A utility. All of this a fake, a ruse. The reaction is to sprint back down over to B, or at least through secret. Oh my gosh, Twinkinator catches one on the move. Lord of Pies is here. That flash would have given him a little bit of an easier time, but it just gives his position away. Goes 1 for 1. Anarchy, he's right behind them. This timing is critical. It's incredible. Anarchy only gonna get the 1, but still, delay. Time for Sasha to get into this correct space. Missed the flick and does some damage. Comes back for more, and Sasha delivers. The plant going down. but finalized. Top Shadow has to pull up the clutch. He won't be able to provide. There is exactly what AAF needed.
Great early breakthrough. Twinkinator, top of the server. Impact, even in moments where, I mean, he has no way of knowing it's going to land 100% dead on, but when it does, everybody knows their place. Everybody knows what the next stage is likely to look like in the Weaponized Incompetence plans. I wouldn't say the word is they've worn them out, but I think the outer yard game is entirely how Anarchy's crew were already operating in that first half, so they know how to maneuver around. Speaking of maneuvering around, they've stationed the op at ramp this time. And Sasha, straight out the gate, first 20 seconds in, and someone has been removed.
I mean, they have, I think,
converted again.
Barely had an op over at ramp.
If ever.
Yeah, I mean, they did last round technically, but I think he was heaven to start.
Yeah.
So.
And now he's heaven here. He just did the inverse of that. Oh, no, never mind.
No, that's
that is
AGN.
AGN.
Yeah, still responsible for ramp. Down B, though, is Lord of Pies, as was the case previously. Anarchy's adjustment to the consistent pressure that Weaponized Incompetence have been providing in yard is just a start. Lord of Pies down B. Haven't gone for those fast A plays. Just one smoke, but they get across. Lord of Pies on the site proper this time, not deep into single. Calling in for support. Sasha, same spot as last round, same delivery, but unfortunately, Sasha doesn't have the help. Lord of Pies, though, still here, unchecked, untouched, as he survives for another one. Icarus will fall, and AAF get themselves a 12th. Some struggles to start the CT side, but they're so back.
Super darn close. Feels like time to shine, time to wrap it, ship it, hopefully with the label attached to it.
They won't accept it without it.
I don't believe so. They got barely a thing to work up against it with.
Limitations massive. So time to see if this A site is all it's cracked up to be.
Heard that. Door open, door closed. Can't get through. Door stuck. They slam it into his face and they peek on the back end against Nitro Wall. Jackson's on a reload. Can't get out of the site. And again, loud about it. It's going to be the Twinkinator to send some bad vibrations to the opponents and some good vibrations around the newly playoff secured Anarchy's accounting firm.
Yes, as able to make that goal of theirs a reality. Jump into the playoffs day 2 solidified as a very tight game. I mean, Weaponized Incompetence making that a real thing. I thought when it was 9-3 on the side flip, you're moving over to the CT side for AAF. That's usually a recipe for like instant victory in my mind. And you know, it's more complicated than that.
The pistol round always creates an ugly road.
Of course.
Additional couple rounds.
And that's kind of what happened, but I think more value than that needs to be tagged on to that comeback. I think that it was legit. It wasn't just, oh, they found a pistol. They were consistently able to find success putting, these late rounds together, especially once they got down into Secret. I thought that they were being very intelligent with how they did that. Also, their trading was really good. I just thought the spacing when they got down B was fantastic.
And they got kind of unlucky that one round that Twinkinator just spammed the smoke on Yar when he was one player down. Like, if he doesn't hit that kill, it changes the timing of the spacing between them getting into that position. It obviously is a lot less for them to operate on, not knowing that somebody's dead. 5v4 rotation's a little bit more claustrophobic in that regard, as it already was in all the other rounds prior. So that's something that I think that they're going to be very happy about not having to be a problem, as we do see the accounting firm 2-1. The 3 games played for them on the other side of things. The teams have already concluded Group B, just as well Pool B, as Team Skyline at the top 3-0. It's going to be the Volandian Knights with only 4 rounds difference in terms of wins, but 10 in terms of the losses. That's where you'll see them go 2-1. Ohio Meatwagon, they fall short just a little bit there, being that second team locked down and Munkle just the same. So the first game of the day, it seems like those two teams have unfortunately departed from their chances in this event.
Yeah, I mean, I think a tough one there. Munkle struggling. It's a tough loss that they had in that Anubis game that we got to watch here on stream. But yeah, I think Team Skyline, top in that group, probably not a huge surprise at all. And Snufafu, I mean, I guess it's not locked in just yet, but that game almost certainly.
I heard that they were up at one point. I think it was like 3-0 up for Thinkers or 4-0 up.
Really?
Like
okay.
That's what I read in chat. I think
maybe I should not open my big fat mouth and wait till I know things.
Yeah,
things.
And we've got to break down pools C and D in just a little bit now with these groups having been closed out. We're going to be approaching that territory in a little while, right? We're going to be closing out on these and everybody gets to go home for the day, you know, wipe off the sweat and dust and see maybe even getting some lunch/dinner. You know, it's pretty cool to be done with your group this early on in the day. It gives you some time to maybe even watch the games that are upcoming to plan for some of the playoff teams if you are one of those that are projected to be there anyway.
Yeah, we've got 3 of those locked in at this point. I think actually technically all 4. Even if Safafu were to lose, they would still be at the top.
They would need to get wiped. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it would need to be like a
it would only
because then it would switch the.
It would only switch the 1 and 2 place.
I think it would switch 1 and 3.
Can we bring that back up?
Yeah,
real
one more
fast?
time. The group.
Sorry, production. Apologies. Yeah, so
hypothetically speaking,
they would be 2 and 1.
1 and 3. If they got 13-0'd, they would still be below Anarchy's accounting firm.
Maps win is more important.
Is it?
Series win, yeah.
Then in a round robin?
Yeah, then round 1? Yeah. Yeah, so
the map's more important then, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would just flip 1 and 2, which, I mean, matters for the playoffs and the seeding, I'm sure, but
like you said before, yeah.
Not so big a deal for them as, through. So basically set with regard to Group A and Group B, as we were highlighting. We are going to get an interview. I don't know who we're going to get, if we're going to get to see Sasha again or if it's going to be somebody else, but on this Anarchy's accounting firm. But we're getting that set up, so apologies for the delay on that. What I can say is that I'm pretty excited to see a couple of teams in these in the backside of this, by the way. I'm excited to see Zealous. I got to see them back last year at LAN.
Oh, I'm not familiar with any of these players, actually.
Come on now.
No.
Borb is the GOAT, potentially.
All right. Well, you have to convince me on that one. I got confirmation that Tiffin University have been sent by the school.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, which is pretty cool. I've been told we are going to have Twinkinator. Just waiting on him to get ready, and he is ready to roll.
Get him on in. Come on.
So, Twinkinator, welcome to the show. Fantastic name, first and foremost. We're both big fan of that. How are you doing? Big win. It was a little bit tighter than maybe the anticipated scoreline was, but able to close it out after a dominant TF.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I mean, we played great, and they're a pretty good stack. I know they're not like a full set team, from what I understand, so it's kind of, we had a lot of setups, and Nuke is one of our best maps, so it was definitely, we were very comfortable the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it. It looked like you guys had some really solid protocols working across the board. When it came down to your interplay, it looked like there was a really solid lock that they couldn't break down. AGN, if he was alive, they couldn't get inside a lobby, and that was a pretty much 100% fact. Did you guys operate off that? Like, was that something you were pretty cognizant of early, that AGN was getting kills in that area, and if he wasn't, you could just take room?
Oh, yeah. AGN's like one of our most consistent players. He's a solid rock, so I mean, you really can't go wrong, and whenever you have a lurk that you can consistently rely on, it's really good.
And you had another actual couple of positions. You were almost operating as a lurk on yard as well. It felt like you were sometimes solo in that area, and you were finding some good success. So first of all, I'm going to ask, as a layer to that, is who is calling for this team currently? As I think it was Anarchy we confirmed. And if that is true, then how do you think that the game style on Nuke was kind of worked around from their perspective? What were they dictating your guys' positions in that, or were you almost the ones who were taking charge?
It was entirely Anarchy. He's been our captain now for a long time. He's a very good IGL. He's been doing it for most of his career. And I mean, yeah, he kept the game plan super simple. He didn't want to do too much. And he understood that as long as we're grouped and we know what we're doing, we can win this game.
So it was like not to take over the interview from you, Vincent, or anything like that, but was a little bit more like default heavy, like just go in this area, and then see what happens, see what kills we get, then mid-round? Was that kind of how it was working?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Okay.
We had like a goal-oriented idea at the start, but, you know, if something crazy happens mid-round, we're going to swap it up.
Yeah.
I guess follow up on that. You were talking about like how long Anarchy's been in-game leading, but just as a team, how long has this stack, or at least the core, been playing together?
The core would be myself, Anarchy, Lord O'Pies, and AGN. We've been playing together now for 3 or 4 seasons straight. And I mean, Brandon and I, or Anarchy, and Tyler, and like Tyler, Alex, and Brandon have been playing together forever. Me and Brandon have been playing together forever. So it's just a mix of guys that we have a lot of good synergy at this point built up over time. So, yeah.
That was kind of what I was saying before, is that you can't really like buy, you know, or just throw together the kind of chemistry that your team has with the casual and competitive experience you have. I think that's something that really does show inside the server, even when maybe necessarily not mechanically stacked up against other players as much on paper. I think that it really does just go to show that that doesn't really come to matter when you have a game plan that is, again, you know, sometimes maybe a little bit more simple, but everybody just knows what they need to do when the problems arise. So I'm just going to leave it to myself to say congratulations, unless you have anything else you want to add on to that, Vincent. I think that was a great game.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, fantastic. I did have one other question, though, and I wanted to touch on, you talked about, like, you were well prepared on Nuke. You felt very confident about that. Talk to me about, like, a little bit of the preparation. I mean, how much practice have you guys had coming in? We just got done discussing that, you know, there's a lot of experience there consistently, but, you know, prepping for this event, what was the practice like in just, like, the week or a couple of weeks ahead of it?
Yeah. This season for us has been a little bit chaotic. My schedule's been pretty crazy. Tyler's schedule's been pretty crazy. Brandon's had some. We've all just had like scheduling, and that we didn't have any preseason prac. So it's been. But the thing is like you said, we have a lot of built-up chemistry over time. And Brandon's a very prepared person, so we have a great strat book. Everything's laid out, super easy to find. We have nade videos and all that good stuff. So. You mix that all in together, and you just get this like pretty consistent base and structure that we have on top of like our own individual prowess that comes through, which is really good.
Cool. Yeah, I actually, that was meant to be my last question, but I've thought of one other one, so I'm going to toss it down.
Okay.
Seal the deal for playoffs at the very minimum. Yeah. That's day 2 confirmed for you guys. Any like previous experience with some other teams you anticipate to be making it into playoffs that you might either want to see or maybe don't so much want to see when it comes to that day 2?
I know Snafu's just made it in. They did just play against Thinkers, who Xeon used to be my teammate of like 4 years, so shout out Xeon. Okay. And they just played them 13-11 on Mirage, and Thinkers is just a mix open team of guys that are having fun, and they just took what I would consider the best team in our group out 13-11. So, I mean, these guys, that's definitely the team that I'm looking out for the most, I would say. They're one of the strongest teams in the tournament. The map that we played them against, I think we easily could have beaten them, but I think we just had first match jitters. But they're definitely one of the strongest teams here, for sure.
Cool. Well, I look forward to potentially seeing you guys up against them. Me too. Look forward to seeing you guys up against them in those playoffs. Like we said, guaranteed. Well, Tunkanator, thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate it. We'll be seeing you tomorrow, I'm sure.
Of course. Yeah. Bye.
And with that, a settled in thing here in at least Group A and Group B. We got Group C and Group D to continue on forward. We can pull that up. I don't know if we have it updated, but the fact that the Thinkers Academy took it deep against Tupafu, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Do we know who we're going to be working up with when we do return from our miniature break as far as our schedules on the matches for the day are concerned?
I think we do.
Some of that.
Yeah, we can pop over that. That's
going to be probably what the people are waiting to see. Got Over Your Head and Fashionably Late, and then Zealous versus Tiffin University Dragons.
It's going to be a good time as, like I said, I'm excited to see Zealous, excited to look at some of these individuals on Fashionably Late that I actually don't know a whole lot about.
I don't know a whole lot about any of these teams, being honest with you, so that's a lot of fun.
Don't you worry. We'll get you there. We've got a little break, though, ahead of time. So we're going to take a moment, get things settled here as we get everybody out of the venue from Group A and Group B, and everybody from Group C and D into the venue. A little switch, and we shall return as soon as we're ready to go in those second two groups.